Jen, will you do roll call, please?
Tom McDonald,
Here.
Len Titi, Jennifer Finley,
Here.
Jim Molitor, Carol Langford, Terry Pitts, Bing Matt,
Here.
Ellie Bundy, Martin Charlo,
Present.
Mike Dawson,
I'm here.
James Steele Senior.
Thank you, Jen. For the record, Len and Jimmy are at Rocky Mountain Leaders Council in Billings. With that, we always want to start our day out with a prayer. So if I move to my left, Jen, would you mind leading us in prayer?
Sure. Today, I ask for blessings upon all of my colleagues and all the people who work here at who work for the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes, that we do our best work for the people and that we always remember who we serve. And I ask for blessings upon our tribal membership, especially those going through hard times, who are feeling hopeless. I pray especially for them and families who recently lost anybody. Leblemsh.
Thank you, Jennifer. We have our minutes from Tuesday, July 25th for your consideration. And I'll start out with a couple of edits. Abby, on the first page, Chairman McDonald informed council they sought help from the author of the New York Times. That's piece. I'd like to clarify it. To Chairman McDonald informed council that he sought help from the author of the New York Times. The author of the New York Times article recently published about selenium mountain surrounded selenium. Anyway, the author of the recent New York Times article about selenium and how to get an op-ed into the New York Times. And then I gave council electronic copy of the editorial. That's clear as mud, isn't it? I'm sorry, Abby. I'm discombobulated today. On page 6, Abby, with the issue Tri-Feldman brought in the first comment from me, Chairman McDonald said the guided buffalo hunt became aware of last Thursday, and the game wardens were going to look into it. He wants to correct the record on buffalo related to concerns he has recently heard, period. And then in Montana, we've been trying to restore wild genetically pure buffalo and get the federal government to list them as a threatened and endangered species, period. We did get Congress to identify buffalo as our national mammal icon. Then, period, they have been considered domestic livestock for a long time. When they are not wild, free-ranging public herds. And down the next paragraph, Chairman McDonald spent his whole career defending our treaty rights. We have a cooperative agreement with Montana Fish, Life and Parks for fishing and bird hunting on the reservation. If you could add and bird hunting. The next sentence, part of what they were doing was advertised as a commercial hunt on tribally owned land and waters and guiding without any permission from council. That was a particular action the game wardens were going to look into. You can't give an update on what citations, if any, were taken at this time. You could add that at this time. The next sentence, opponents look at this differently and say it's for, if you could delete it's for fishing, and just say opponents look at this differently and say hunting is in common with citizens of the territory. We say big hunting is not allowed on the reservation, comma, but these are private buffalo or beefalo and are not considered big game animals. The buffalo have been domesticated and interbred with cattle and privatized. They are, yeah. Well, could say beefalo. That's what they are. But there are genetically pure buffalo that are privatized. All of the buffalo that the American Prairie Reserve have are genetically pure buffalo, and they came, from the Pablo Allard herd up to Canada and then back down. So there are some. Also, now Ted Turner has some because he was able to get some of the cohort groups out of the quarantine program. The very first quarantine that we put out there out of the Yellowstone herds. In compensation for storing those buffalo during the quarantine, he was able to keep the calf crop for 2 years from those buffalo. So there are private herds that are genetically pure. The next paragraph towards the end, Chairman McDonald commented that any type of business on tribally owned land cannot be done without our permission. But this is a private herd. The next sentence, Tom knows of 3, I would just delete that. Tom knows of other privately owned buffalo herds that are or have been this type of operation on the reservation for nearly 50 years. Page 8, Louis Kaye Jr.'s comment. Chairman McDonald stated the commercial activity of guiding on tribal lands is the game warden's oversight, and they issue citations for that. The employee being engaged in this activity is under the Lands Department. The next sentence, to deal with, I would eliminate these names, and to deal with the way private herd owners harvest bison is a bigger issue. And a couple sentences down, the tribes have continually tried to get bison to be classified as wildlife instead of the endangered species, because we mentioned that earlier, that too, but we've been trying to get them in Montana. Our comments for 3 sessions in a row was to get them out of the Department of Livestock as domesticated animals in need of management and have them listed as wildlife, like other wildlife, elk and deer. Just trying to make myself clear there. Down at the bottom, Chair McDonald commented that knowing our limitations over non-members and not having criminal jurisdiction is a battle of the tribes. Anyway, there was a lot of discussion there, Abby, and I mumble, and sometimes it's not clear what I'm trying to say, so I'm not trying to reframe it. I'm just trying to be more clarity for people to understand it. So, thank you. Charlene Pettit's name's spelled wrong. Okay. Any other comments on the minutes?
Motion to approve with changes?
Motion by Ellie to approve the July 25th council minutes with changes. Yeah, Martin?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Council. Abby, on the statement, the last statement, I was talking about the rodeo and the fundraiser for Anita Matt's event at the rodeo in Polson next month. I didn't ask for a donation. I just suggested council buy square or contribute to the fundraiser individually. Thank you.
Motion by Ellie to approve the July 25th council minutes. Second by Mike. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, show of hands. Okay, 7-4, Terry abstained. All right, we have today's agenda. Oh yeah, forget Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to ask a question if the election committee will be dealing with the obvious electioneering that was going on Tuesday.
Sorry, say that again.
I was wondering if the election committee would be dealing with the obvious electioneering that was happening on Tuesday's meeting. Just a question.
We'll take that under consideration. Election chairman is not here. Okay, we'll take it under consideration, Mike. Thank you. We have our agenda today. We have a fire update from Art. We have walk-ins.
We have two walk-ins besides the fire update. We have Sean Sweeney and Sonny Lozo. Sonny Lozo's is an executive, but I have a feeling Sean's might be an executive as he starts talking.
Okay.
more. I'm trying to get DHRD over here.
Is there any other agenda item additions? Carol has one. Okay. An executive. Okay. Any other items? Motion by Mike to approve today's agenda with additions. Second by Ellie. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all is in favor? Unanimous. And we'll start out with our first executive, and we'll take Sunny. We'll do an executive session.
You wanted fire control update first.
Oh, do I? Oh, let's do Sunny, because Sunny, I'm sorry for your loss. No. Yeah, Sean's being taken care of, I think.
Darcy? Good.
It took him.
Mike Wheeler and Lana are on if you want
Oh, they
them to
can-
go
they
ahead
can leave.
and be excused.
Flame on this morning, eh?
That's Quex. Yeah, it was flame on last night. Quite the show. I don't know if you had an opportunity to go down and look. I sent you a picture of it, but I think there's plenty of pictures all over Facebook. Yeah. Are we ready? We go live. Kind of Tony and Cashola Junior should be coming in at any time. So introductions, Ron Swaney, the FMO.
Jeff Moyer from the BI Northwest Region Fire Management.
CT. CT doesn't follow direction. So I guess I'm not sure where we're at for the updates, but lightning caused fire. I think we came and talked to you on Tuesday about it. Started Monday from a storm that came through. You know, been talking about this area for a long time. It's got a lot of wind throw, a lot of insects and disease, a lot of stuff laying on the ground. It's steep, inaccessible, and just a very challenging area to have a fire. And I always thought if we don't catch it fast, then it's going to be a long-term event. And when this fire originated, it immediately jumped to the crowns and made a hard run up a south aspect and got up on a ridge line. We called in some Missoula smoke jumpers and we all stared at it and went big box right away. There's no opportunity up there to engage safely and be effective. So our primary objective is to protect life property at the toe of the slope, underneath the S Canal and just a little above the S Canal, between the areas of Blodgett Creek and Big Knife Creek. So Big Knife would be on the north end and Blodgett Creek on the south. So currently we have Ken Wabunzi, our air attack platform, will go up when we got visibility and start trying to slow spread to keep it from moving north and south. We're allowing spread to go east and definitely checking any spread. We want to keep it above the S Canal. So that's the efforts that we're currently putting forth. The organization is relatively small. We had a community meeting last night, very good turnout, and Bing, Martin, both there to support us. But a lot of folks there, a lot of interests, and so we'll have a meeting schedule and keep our residents in the loop and our community members in the loop. We're calling in a information officer to cover that piece for us, someone from the outside. We're lined up with the Arley Rural Fire Department. Charles Hadley is a part of our organization. We pulled Jim Steele over, who was a member of that department, to work with us as an AD, and he's providing plans. The incident commander is Art Trahan, and Daryl Claremont's running operations. It's kind of about as far as we've gone. Did talk with Scott Schrank. He's on the other fire outside of Sealy, and we're going to pull some folks, wanting to pull some folks over from his fire to do a structure protection plan, do a strat operations plan, and incorporate a safety officer to oversee the safety aspects of that operation. ICP is going to be at the Arley Powwow Grounds, and it's starting to expand. We're working, Rod Couture, who's logistics, is working with the right folks. We've contacted Ronnie Matt. Ronnie was at the meeting last night, and we've got access there. All our community meetings will be at the community center in Arley, and we're working on agreements there to try to get everything in place, try to coordinate everything and make sure that we're not disrupting operations that go on there normally. So that's going to be the epicenter for information right now. We've got a table or a board that CT and his staff will be posting updates. And we'll make sure that we get around and communicate with the community members right underneath the fire so they understand why heavy helicopters dropping water above them and what the intent is. A lot of nervous folks. Boulder 2700 and Elmo kind of set the stage where a lot of people have a lot of fear right now of how these fires behave. I've got some maps I'll pass around and I'll just leave them with you folks, but this one is where it was yesterday morning, and this is where it's at this morning with an IR flight. And we'll be flying IR flights over that fire and documenting spread and trying to share that information with you folks. But I'll pass these around. And this one is predicted fire growth over the next 48 hours. So I'll pass that around for you. I guess anything else additional you want to go with, CT?
What are we seeing next week?
Hot and dry. A little bit of lightning in the forecast, which is a concern. Another start is what we're looking at, or several starts. So we're going to start beefing up the organization, calling some folks in so that we can properly staff that fire if we have other starts. So that's what we're looking at. Beefing up the organization, duplicating positions, so if something does happen and we get a fire behind Hot Springs that's threatening homes, that we can pull people from there, keep it staffed appropriately, and head to the new start. So we're going to start beefing up an organization, and I tried to explain that to the residents last year. I know Crooks, or 2 years ago, Crooks, there was a lot of equipment kind of sitting around, and a lot of people had, well, what's going on? We want to be able to mobilize quick. If we get downsloping winds, we want to be able to mobilize to that. If we get another start, we want to be able to mobilize to that. And if you're looking at us to provide the protection, we only got 4 engines right now that are up and running. So we've got to call in some folks, beef up that organization, and be ready to respond. So that's what we're looking at doing. And so it's going to be kind of strategic, and we're looking at things and not getting completely huge. But as this thing moves north and south, I'm sure we'll see significant growth in that organization. Okay. Yeah, so we went into very high. I think CT might have briefed you guys on that. So very high is PL4, and so preparedness level 4. And record indices for the east side of the reservation for ERCs and burning index for this time of the year. Also record lows for 1,000-hour fuel moistures and 100,000 fuel moistures. So the larger fuel, and it takes 1,000 hours to change those of precipitation. And I don't see that happening for a long time. So those fuels will remain available. These little brief thunder lightning storms that come through and dump 1/10 of an inch in an hour are not going to do anything to them. You'll see them respond quickly back. Within 4 hours, we'll be back kind of. So that area got some rain. And yeah, you kind of see the effect, didn't have much. So you're going to see some of those big runs like that. It's going to position itself. What it does is it likes to roll off those ridge lines, get established, and then when the weather conditions are right, aligns with that slope, you're going to see some spectacular runs. And I think yesterday we were flirting with 300-foot flame lengths running back up towards that ridge line. So I was really happy. You know, we didn't have 100 firefighters scrambling to the black. You know, it's kind of what we expected, and there it is. So I do have 2 IAPs as well. You know, I'll leave these with you. You can look through them. Just talks about the incident action plans and what we're looking to do today. we do have planning meetings at Arlee at 19:30 or 7:30 at the Powwow Grounds. So if there's interest and you want to come down and be a part of the plan, please come on down. Morning briefings will be at 7 o'clock. Operational briefings also at the Powwow Grounds. So we're moving everything there. So if you want to come down, we did tie in with preservation, and they gave us a briefing this morning on cultural sensitivity. Katie came in and provided that for us, knowing the history of that area. The other thing is Dancing Boy. You know, we're trying to hold Blodgett Creek. We don't want it to get into Agency Creek. And we're thinking about prepping a ridge line that drops before it drops into Agency Creek, and just wanting to know what council's feelings are on that. What we're worried about is if we don't do it now and it takes a hard run, aircraft will not be able to get in through that smoke to do this work. So we see an opportunity and we just kind of want to be ahead of it. So I wanted to table that and ask for a decision on that, because if council is in agreement, I think that'll be in today's operational plan. Did you? Oh. Yeah.
So, can you see my cursor on there? Council? This orange, yellow line right here would be the proposed line for the aircraft to paint on top of the ridge there. Dancing Boy is further south, the next ridge over further south. So fire is now in the bottom here of this creek basin, Logic Creek. If it does make a run up, this is where we would like to have a contingency line to help stop the spread any further south towards Dancing Boy.
Direction from council? Consensus? I'm kind of old school. I'd like to see the line the whole damn thing, but you know, that's just me.
That's Bing too. Bing wasn't happy at the.
Well, you know,
community.
The evolution of fire over the last 40 years has been significantly different. And so, you know,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah.
All right, so we'll run
Yeah,
that
go ahead,
into the
Bing.
mix.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Say, how much of a run did it go downhill last night? Cause when I looking at watching that when it blew up last night,
Yeah,
that sucker really took off, and I didn't know how far down the hill it came, cause it looked like it did come downhill last night.
so that IR flight's from 1 o'clock this morning. So that's the heat signature that the IR was able to pick up. So that's pretty accurate. We had some folks walk into the Big Knife Canyon last night and it was quite a ways up. So yeah, it's there. We're trying to hit it with aircraft to try to check it up and hoping that if it does transition, it's further up the canyon, and just trying to buy time.
Yeah, I was just wondering how far it came down towards Val Espinosa's place there, because it's across the creek, across the canal there, and I'm just been kind of concerned about her property up there, and
Yeah,
and got the Espinosa's down the road there too, so
yeah.
across the canal. So I was just wondering, how far it came down, because it looked like it did come down off that hill a little bit last night.
Yeah, that's the spread that we are tracking for sure. I think some of the concern we have is there's lightning in the forecast too, Bing, and so with the weather profile right now, it's looking like west winds pushing it east, and it looks great. I think the concern is if we get a thunder cell over top and it pushes downhill without flow winds. So yeah, we're looking at Val's place. We're doing structure assessments, and we talked with them yesterday, and Rafe was at the community meeting, and we'll make sure that we communicate with those folks, as we also have the same concern.
There's some rows back there, that they put in there when they were logging that unit back there, Big Knife unit. And I was just wondering if that's what I was wondering, if there was gonna be put any lines on them roads where it would, help that, contain that from going down any further. you know, at the bottom of that ridge is not reached there.
Sorry. We had, so in 21, we had the Crooks Fire, and we did some work all the way from, you know, the Jocko Canyon around Hank Adams's place, all the way through and tied it into North Finley. We also did a fuels treatment there in like 2005. We did the Big Knife timber sale and did a lot of thinning and piling and pile burning and stuff. So that's what we'll be looking at now, is just trying to reinforce some of that work that was completed in 21 and, you know, do some things just to try to mitigate that. I drove through there yesterday. It's pretty green. It's pretty green. I don't know how it would, I'm interested to see how it's gonna take, once we start burning. But we're gonna burn, if we do, it would be above Val's place, and there's 2 roads in between us and her. And, we'll definitely have equipment on scene and be ready. I mean, keeping it north of that or east of, I think it's the 4100 road is gonna be one of our primary objectives, is to keep it above the canal, above the 4100 road, protect structures, protect human life.
Martin?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank all you guys, and as always, you know, make sure you thank your crews top to bottom. Thank you guys for all you guys do. Be safe out there.
All right. Yeah.
CT?
The next fire restrictions meeting is on Tuesday. And I'll update you guys on that, whether we stage 1, stage 2, or no restrictions, but my feeling is we're probably gonna go into some kind of restriction.
And what is the status of the North Crow and Mission fires in the
I
wilderness?
just talked with Nick Mays, cause I'm getting questions on this Crow Creek one, 2/10, same, buckwork yesterday, buckwork today is planned. And then, 100% contained on the Mission Dam.
Yeah, the jumpers, we talked this morning, they're cold trailing it this morning, you know how that goes, and then slinging their gear out, and they'll probably start hiking down at, roughly noon, fire out. The one up on top, we couldn't land, Crow, we just couldn't get in. Those kids wanted out on that fire. It's pretty up there in a lot of lakes, and just couldn't find a place to put down. So it's nestled in rock. I'll send you pictures of it. We've got pictures. It's 2 snags basically that are hung up in rock, big rock. A lot of green, not a lot, but some green vegetation around them. So broken fuels, it's low, I'd say low potential. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And just so you know, in terms of the restrictions, person-caused fires haven't been an issue as of yet. And that usually weighs into that. I think our public has been very understanding what's going on. They've been doing a
You
heck
know,
of
I
a
just
job.
want to say that everybody's been doing a good job trying to
Right.
educate the public, because some years that's what all the fires are, human caused.
Definitely.
Definitely, and they're all preventable. So many.
Yes,
With lightning, it's an act of God.
right.
Got a good prevention team on the res
Yeah.
here.
Hey,
Hey,
hey.
hey.
As soon as they take out fire,
Hey, CT.
campfires, man, just think of those guys. Campfires go. Whose idea was this? All right, Lebanon.
Une. All right, Jen, what's next?
It's Sean and Patty, Patricia and Natalie.
And they disappeared. Are they? But quickly, while we're waiting for them, council, I sent you a support letter for the disaster emergency declaration that the governor sent out. If we want to support that, we have a draft letter. I just assume it would be consensus to do that. It's the drought, the upper flathead and low water levels and ag issues. So it's basically support service letter for supporting the governor's request for a disaster emergency.
You really?
the governor sent one off, and so it would be a support. I sent it to you. More, Sean? Yeah, push the button there.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, just, came up this morning. Basically thing, a guy set my car on fire in Missoula. And, I'm just trying to get it out of impound because I called him Thursday and, they said it'd be okay and Kenny Freelander was gonna help me get it out of there. I couldn't find my insurance policy to do the road service. And then Bing called on Friday and they said be all right. And I went down the next morning with Kenny Freelander. My car was gone and Iron Horse got it. So there was a mix up or they towed it, well, when they said they weren't gonna do it. So my main thing is to try to get the car because I have my titles for cars and quite a bit of important paperwork and stuff. And, my main thing, I'm trying to short stop and get that so they don't charge much. They said that the car burned and the tires burned, but they didn't. So I've got pictures of the car. The tires did not burn. There's about $700 of brand new tires on there and I want to salvage what I can. So, yeah. Anyway, that's about basically the main thing. So I was trying to get that done. Had I had my insurance policy, they haven't been mailing it to me from Affordable Insurance. So had I had that, I'd have had it out of there, but road service tow. Spalding said I could take it there. Floyd Adams Auto said I could take it there. And there's a guy, he's Alaska native, said they have 5 acres. I can take it there. So I'm gonna work on trying to get that the first priority to do that. And that's about it.
Okay. HRD, any?
Yeah.
Sean's used his dire need for the year, so we would respectfully ask council to waive the requirements for dire need to let us go above the policy for his needs, because right now, if the car has been towed, we would have to pay to get the car out if the car is salvageable and to get the car to be operable. That was a tongue-tied.
Carol?
Yeah, you said this morning that his sister possibly offered to purchase a car. Is that in the works?
You want to talk about that portion,
I've
Sean?
never seen it. I don't know. They said something about a car, but like I say, I don't know. I've never seen it. Main thing I want to do is I want to get this car. They say it's not salvageable, but it is. The tires did not burn, and a lot of towing companies do bad things to people when they don't need, they're under stress and duress and they don't need to be doing that. Somebody has pictures of the car and the tires are not
Sean,
burnt down. It didn't get inside the car.
we're not, I don't think you should worry too much except getting your stuff out of that car.
No, I want the
But
car out. I need
I
it towed out.
understand,
I'm
but
not
you're
gonna
in a wheelchair.
I know, I don't want to surrender the car
You
to them.
need to
It's
work with
easier
your
for me to,
sister. Yeah, let's work
they're
with your sister.
cannibalizing me if they do that, and I don't want that to happen.
Okay.
Respectfully, Carol, okay,
I understand,
Yeah.
but we need
Yeah.
to, your sister needs to get you into a car then.
yeah, whatever.
All right,
Main thing, I want to get the car out of there.
okay.
Yeah, I've got people, 3 places I can take it. Spalding's actually said I could park it over there. I know people there at Spalding's. So I need to get the car. It's got car titles and other stuff in there. And, okay, I guess that's about it.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, okay.
Can you assist him in getting the stuff out of the car?
We can go down and look at the car, get the items that he needs out of the car. If the car is not salvageable,
Well, I want the car out of there anyway. It's my car. I own it. And I don't want to leave it at them because they'll make a lot of money. Plus they're charging me high. They weren't supposed to tow it. I called them on Thursday and Bing called them on Friday and they didn't keep their word.
We'll do it in a stepwise fashion and make sure we get your stuff out, Sean.
Well, all I want to do is get the car out. Cause if I take the stuff out of the car, I don't have any place to take it. All I want to do is get the car out to where I can get to and then I can get the stuff out on my own when I choose to get in there. I've got the key for it. Yeah, I don't want to separate them. It's caused me more trouble doing it that way. Okay.
Martin?
I mean, to even get access to the vehicle, you have to pay their fee, their towing fee, and so we're gonna pay that anyway, you know.
What's that?
The cost right now, Martin, I can see, is $360 plus towing. Dire need for the year is 500. And
So to get his personal effects, we have to pay that no matter what.
Yeah, I need my car, cause I can salvage the tires and all the other stuff.
we'll call and ask if we have to pay just to get in to get the personal effects. We've never encountered that before, and we'll follow up on that. But we know in what Sean's asking is, I want my car. To get that car would be $360 plus the towing cost at this point. And he does have insurance. We did get a copy of that. I believe he does have, I see you asking that being, and we'll check on that also. We can give you a follow-up on that if you need time to discuss whether you want to waiver that.
So he's saying he has roadside assistance through his insurance, so if you're
Yeah,
gonna
see,
pay,
they-
if you're gonna pay the,
They hadn't been
fee.
sending me my mail, and so I didn't have it there. And I
yeah,
kept
so
asking
we
the
could call,
mail.
as long as we got your insurance policy, you can just call that insurance policy.
Yeah.
Talk
Well,
to
see,
them.
I have.
And then you need to,
I
Sean,
have
what
a-
you need to do next is
I
find a
have a
place to
flip
tow it.
phone. I have a flip phone, not a smartphone, so I tried to access it one time and I couldn't do it.
You can call their 1-800 number. And
Well, I
but the-
tried and it still wouldn't go through.
The big thing is,
I was transporting Jim Stinger earlier this year, 3 months ago, I had a flat tire and we could never get through. Yeah, just the way, I don't have a smartphone, that's why that happened. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll follow up on that, Martin. We just got a copy of the insurance this morning.
Steve at Affordable, Eric is running it now. Yeah, 721-7446.
But we just got the copy of the insurance card today, Carol, and we'll keep that in our file for future. So we can find out if he does indeed have the roadside assistance. We don't have the backup card, but we got
It does have roadside assistance.
Okay.
All right, that it? Yeah. There's another one. Bing showed me there was a darker car over by Kent Duckworth.
Just one question, Sean, where would the car go if it comes out? Where would we take it?
Well, I've got 2 or 3 people said I could take it. That's no problem. There'll be no problem to do that. And I think I can get the towing, my tow service for roadside assistance should work on that to get it.
Yeah, it'd be great to have your
Hopefully.
insurance cover that.
Okay,
Then we don't have an issue.
yeah.
The car out.
Yeah, they only had to tow it about 8 miles. I know what they charge. It shouldn't be about $80 or $100 for towing, but some of them people, one guy said. one
So
of
the
those
important thing,
companies
Sean, is that
charged
you
$7,000.
don't, your car is not usable right now and you need a car.
Yeah.
And so if your
Well-
sister's gonna get you a car, you need to do that.
I know, but I need the other car out. I don't want to lose it. I've got.
Well, we
stuff in it.
understand that.
Yeah.
And so maybe your insurance will take care of that.
Yeah,
Yeah. If it
We
doesn't,
have the number, Carol. It's not the towing. It's the cost of the impound, which is
yeah, I was trying
$360,
to stop
which
that.
is
too.
not covered by insurance.
Yeah, I was trying
Oh, I
to
have
stop
all,
that
we have
2
all those
days ago.
numbers.
But
We're not concerned about the towing. It's the $360
compound,
for the
impound.
impound, correct.
If you could verify whether we could, be able to get access to the car without paying the impound fee and then come back to us, if that was the case. then-
I don't have any place to take my stuff. I
Right.
need to just get it out and have it in the car.
Right.
And there I can get
Yeah.
a battery jump, roll the front windows up and lock it and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
That way it's all in one thing. So that's what I've been working on it. I was trying to get it done 2 days ago, but didn't get help, so.
Good.
Okay. I have to do it that way, because there's stuff in there is irreplaceable.
Patty, if you could do a little bit more legwork and come back to us
Yes,
before we
sir, I
waive the
will.
fee.
I will
Yeah.
do that.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Yeah.
thanks a lot.
Today, please.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, thank you. See you, Sean.
Now we have Greg Spar
That was
with
a
a
good
couple of
birthday present
resolution
for me.
approvals.
Okay. All right, Greg, you got some housekeeping, resolutions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I do have a couple of housekeeping resolutions that were designed to update our signatory authority on our relationships. With Zach Campbell moving to MVP, we're moving, Wanda Solomon has taken over the role of the central accounting manager. So each
And
and every,
today is Zach's last day.
today we're having, today is Zach's last day, correct? He's having some PTO next week, but he'll still be available to help us navigate some things. But yes, today is that day. So the first one here is for our TD Ameritrade account. This is the approval of the 4-pack signature block.
Motion by Mike to approve the, resolution. Second by Ellie. Any further discussion? See none, all's in favor, show of hands. Unanimous.
So as I move down here, the next one in the pack is for our Linsco Private Ledger or LPL account. This has the same language due to staffing changes, replacing the signature pack.
Motion by Mike. Second by Jennifer. Any further discussion? See none, all's in favor? Unanimous.
The next one in the queue is for establishing a new account. This is an out of order ad. This is establishing a new account on behalf of the retreat in Polson. This will give us the functionality to handle the business activities as we come online with that project. And this will be in advance of any closing. We want to be ahead of the game rather than behind.
Motion by Ellie to approve the resolution for the new account for the assisted living facility at Eagle Bank. Second by Bing. Any further discussion? See none, all in favor? Unanimous.
The next one is for our new account that we've created with the Charles Schwab Company, which is on behalf of the MVP capital account.
Motion by Carol, second by Mike. Any further discussion? See none, all in favor? Unanimous? Yeah, go ahead, Ellie.
Greg, you need to just change the chairwoman to chairman on the bottom of the resolution. I didn't check the others, but on this one in particular.
I apologize for the oversight. I'll make sure it's correct. I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah. Emailed him that when I first saw him.
The next one is our relationship with First Interstate Bank.
Motion by Mike. Second by Ellie. Any further discussion? See none, all in favor? Unanimous?
The next is for the blanket resolution for all of our accounts that we hold at Eagle Bank, making the same adjustment.
Motion by Mike, second by Bing. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all is in favor? Unanimous?
The next is for our relationships with Glacier Bank.
Motion by Mike, second by Ellie. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all is in favor? Unanimous?
The last one, or the next one here, is for the relationship that we maintain with BTFA. This covers our relationship for the trust accounts as well as the water compact dollars.
Motion by Mike, Second by Ellie. Any further discussion? See none, all in favor? Unanimous.
That's my pack today. I want to give you a quick update. We're getting ready to make the Empower transition for retirement plan today. We've been in the office this morning working on all of that, double checking about 19 pages of code, and we'll make sure that's done today. Yes, ma'am. Please do. Thank you all.
I have a question on the Empower thing, but not here, Greg. I'll catch you later on at the end of the day. Thank you. Go ahead.
Greg.
Martin.
I've had a lot of people reach out about ADP every time. Just, I would hope that we make sure that, this program can keep track of how many people didn't submit their time cards correctly. I really worry that next pay period, we're gonna have a lot of people not get paid because things weren't done correctly. I've had timekeepers say that they weren't informed well, that the information was confusing, and I don't know if you guys are communicating regularly with the timekeepers or the people that do the time. You know, it's not in every one email, but there's definitely very little communication. Even the security question that came out looked like spam to me. So I didn't even open it until I needed access to a pay stub. You know, so an email from your office saying, look for this email would have been helpful because at least I would have been looking for it. Just communication out of your office, I think would help a lot. Would help alleviate a lot of the stress that employees are having because there is this uncertainty about whether or not I'm gonna get a paycheck on Tuesday. And that may not affect people that, you know, probably a lot of people in this room don't live check to check. But there are, you know, there are a lot of tribal members that do. And to keep them, you know, like morale is low around the organization. We have a lack of faith in a lot of things from membership in us. And it feels like every time we roll something out, and this is my opinion here, it hasn't gone that well. And this ADP rollout, I don't know that it doesn't fall into that same category at this point, from my perspective. So, again, communication, you know, from your office, from, you know, I went back and looked. There were 3 emails about ADP that I could find. Maybe there were more, but from this office, from your office, there were 3. I bet I got a bunch of spam from them, but I don't look at that. So, we need to do better. And that's all of us. So, I've had to apologize to people over this. And I'm like, you know, it's like, it's terrible. So, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Martin.
I appreciate your feedback and I'll do better. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Anytime we have a paradigm shift, it takes an awful lot of education and communication. So I don't know if we ever can do enough, but thank you. All right. Maybe we could take a 3-minute break. You know, the bathroom was closed earlier this morning, so I don't know. I hope it's back on. Oh, okay. I know there's trees and bushes. I could do a hot springs thing or, you know, an Irada thing. Yeah. Hog heaven.